What if you were stranded in the harshest environment on Earth, with no hope of rescue? Would you survive? This is not a hypothetical question for the passengers of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571. Their story is a stark reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of unthinkable circumstances. On a gloomy day in October 1972, a plane took off from Montevideo, Uruguay, carrying 45 passengers, including a young, enthusiastic rugby team. Their destination, Santiago, Chile, a mere hour flight away. But they never made it. Instead, they found themselves in a scenario straight out of a nightmare. Caught in a brutal snowstorm, the plane crashed high in the Andes Mountains, a place so remote, so inhospitable, that it seemed impossible for life to endure. The wreckage of the plane was their only shelter against the freezing cold, their food supplies limited, and their hopes dwindling with each passing day. But this was not just a story of despair, it was a tale of human grit, determination, and a will to survive that defied all odds. The passengers of Flight 571, many of them no more than teenagers, found themselves in a battle against nature, against time, and against their own fears. They faced the harsh reality of their situation with courage and resourcefulness, making hard decisions and even harder sacrifices. They were ordinary people just like you and me, thrown into an extraordinary situation. Their story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, a testament that even in the face of the most daunting adversities, we humans have the capacity to endure, to hope, and to survive. So began a desperate struggle for survival against the odds. A struggle that would last for 72 grueling days, a struggle that would push them to the very limits of human endurance, and a struggle that would ultimately define their lives. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this incredible story of survival in the Andes. The Andes Mountains, a stunning yet deadly landscape. This range, stretching over 7,000 kilometers, is not just one of the world's longest mountain chains, but also one of the most ruthless environments on Earth. The survivors of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 found themselves stranded in the heart of this brutal wilderness. The Andes is often compared to a frozen desert. Here the air is thin and biting, with temperatures that can plunge to 30 degrees below zero at night. Imagine being trapped in such a place, where every breath is a struggle, and the piercing cold seeps into your bones, threatening to freeze you from the inside out. But the cold was not the only enemy. The altitude over 3,000 meters high meant that the oxygen was sparse. This led to altitude sickness, marked by debilitating headaches, nausea, and exhaustion. Each step was an effort, each movement a battle against the crushing fatigue. And then, there was the matter of sustenance. In this barren landscape, food was as scarce as warmth. The rocky terrain and inhospitable weather conditions meant that vegetation was sparse, and wildlife was next to non-existent. The survivors had no hunting skills or tools, and their only food source was the meager supplies they had on the plane. To survive in such an environment, one needs more than just physical strength. It requires a deep understanding of the mountain's unforgiving nature and an unwavering will to survive. Let's hear from John Krakauer, a renowned mountaineer and survival expert. In the Andes, each day is a test of endurance. Every decision can mean the difference between life and death. To survive, you must respect the mountain, understand its dangers, and above all, never give up. In this unforgiving terrain, every moment was a fight to stay alive. But as we'll see, the human spirit is resilient, capable of withstanding even the harshest of conditions. The story of the survivors of Flight 571 is a testament to this indomitable will to survive. In the face of adversity, the human spirit reveals its true strength. A profound truth echoed in the chilling saga of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571. Faced with inconceivable conditions, the survivors found themselves in the unenviable position of having to ration their dwindling supplies of food and water. With the brutal Andean winter on their doorstep, they had to innovate and adapt, creating makeshift shelters from the remnants of the aircraft. Foraging and hunting were out of the question in the barren, snow-clad landscape. They had to rely on their wits, their willpower, and the meager provisions salvaged from the wreckage. Every morsel of food, every drop of water was a precious lifeline, hoarded and shared with a generosity born of shared suffering. But survival wasn't just about battling the elements, it was a test of mental endurance. They had to keep hope alive despite the bleak odds. They organized expeditions, brave souls venturing out into the unknown, driven by the desperate need for rescue. Their stories, retold from survivor interviews, speak volumes about the indomitable will of the human spirit. One survivor recounts, "We knew the chances were slim, but we had to try. We owed it to ourselves, to those who didn't make it. Every step we took, every mountain we climbed, was a testament to our resolve." In this harrowing struggle for survival, the bonds of friendship and camaraderie were forged in the crucible of shared adversity. They leaned on each other, not just for physical survival but to keep the flame of hope burning bright. Yet even with their incredible resilience, the survivors had to make a decision that would haunt them forever. Faced with certain death, how far would you go to survive? As the days turned into weeks, the survivors of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 found themselves in the harshest of predicaments. The frozen wasteland of the Andes offered no sustenance. Hunger gnawed at their bodies, their strength waned, and despair began to creep in. The grim reality was clear: they were starving, and something had to give. In a world removed from civilization, they were forced to confront a horrifying decision. The frozen bodies of their friends, their comrades, their fellow passengers, lay preserved in the snow. The decision to resort to cannibalism was a desperate measure, a last resort born out of the instinct to survive. It was a choice that would haunt them, but one they felt compelled to make. To understand this decision, we must delve into the realm of survival psychology. Dr. John Leach, a renowned expert in the field, explains, "In survival situations, the human mind is pushed to its limits. The will to live often overrides societal norms and moral boundaries. It's not about right and wrong, it's about life and death." In this context, the survivor's decision becomes less of an act of horror, and more a testament to their resilience. They were not murderers, they were victims of an unthinkable tragedy, pushed to the edge of their humanity. As Leach further elaborates, the survivors of Flight 571 found themselves in a situation that most of us can never truly comprehend. Their actions, while shocking, are indicative of the extraordinary lengths humans can go to when survival is at stake. This decision, while shocking, was a testament to their will to survive. They chose life in the face of death. They chose hope in the face of despair. In the chilling solitude of the Andes, they made the ultimate decision, a decision that would forever link their destinies to the unforgiving mountains that had become their home. After 72 days of unimaginable hardship, a glimmer of hope appeared. Out of the vast, unyielding expanse of the Andes, a miracle began to unfold. The survivors of the Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, who had endured the most severe elements and fought against impossible odds, were finally discovered. Their story of survival against all odds resonated around the world, sparking a flurry of global media attention. The world watched in awe as these individuals, whose determination and resilience had kept them alive in the harshest of conditions, were brought back to civilization. We hear from the survivors themselves, their voices filled with a mixture of relief and disbelief, as they recount their miraculous rescue. They speak of the moment they first saw their rescuers, a moment that signified the end of their harrowing journey and the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. Finally, their ordeal was over. The story of Flight 571 is more than a tale of survival. It's a narrative that offers profound lessons that go beyond the icy peaks of the Andes. It's a story that makes us ponder on the very nature of existence and the lengths to which one might go when pushed to the absolute brink. The first lesson is about the indomitable strength of the human spirit, the steadfast will to live that can overcome even the most insurmountable of obstacles. The second lesson is about the power of unity and teamwork, the essential role of collaboration in the face of adversity. When individual strengths are harnessed together, they form a collective force that can withstand the harshest of conditions. Lastly, the ethical dilemmas faced by the survivors compel us to question our own morals. What would we do when survival and ethics collide? It's a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit, reminding us that against all odds, hope endures.